You did it right. You got married. You had the baby. But yet, somehow, you're still doing it all by yourself. Let's talk about why so many married women are living like single moms and what it has to say about the men they chose.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my God! Oh my God! She's okay. Oh my God!
May a love like this never find me. Hey guys, and welcome back. And today this topic is going to be, this is heavily requested, okay? Because I have gone back and forth with some of you about my take on single moms when it comes to us leading the charge with single motherhood. And a lot of people have made these comments, which, they're right. And it needs to be addressed that just because you are married does not mean your ass ain't a single mom. And if you know, okay? I've even seen it within my own family, and I see it with some friends of mine. I'm like, oh, damn, girl, you doing this by yourself. So let's get into why it's important to talk about being married, but still a single mom, vetting these men and what it has to say about us and our choices, and just being really, really careful when it comes to choosing the man that you married and have kids with.
This mime at SeaWorld found moms who were carrying everything, their entire family on their backs, and the dudes were doing nothing, and he straight up put them on blast in front of everybody. Like, this man is doing the Lord's work out here. Look at him. Thank you for your service to this country. Yo, not you, her. Bro, this dude is twice as big as her, and he is straight chilling. Yo, let this be a lesson to dudes out here that sometimes on a family vacation, everyone is relaxing and having a good time except for the mom. She's the only one who's not on vacation. Yo, this one said me, like, my man literally, like, was not with his family. Yeah, so many married single mothers, indeed. And does this dude know how to push a stroller? The fact that women are pushing the strollers and carrying the backpacks and babies while the males are just walking freely is blowing me.
So I think we as women look at marriage and we go, okay, I'm married. I physically have this a man, right? This man is in my home. He is my husband. His presence is here. He's present as a husband. He's going to be present as a father. And the issue with following that blindly is that physical presence does not always equal partnership. We've seen these women, they have a baby on the hip, trying to get the baby out the car seat, got the backpacks, got the baby bag, have the little brat in the back whining and not being cooperative, and the husband is literally just scot-free. He ain't picking up a bag, he's not helping with the baby, and he damn sure ain't helping with the other child. And he's doing his damn thing and watching you do it all by yourself. And what is the point? You would think, right, he's physically there, help, right? I shouldn't have to ask you for help, but yet a lot of married women do see themselves having to even ask their husbands, can you please grab the bag, get the bag out the car? Can you please get your own baby out the car seat? Nobody should have to ask a man to do that. You damn sure shouldn't have to ask your husband to do that.
Come with me for my morning routine as a married single mom to 6 boys. And yes, you heard that right. But let me show you what I mean. Of course, I'm up before the sun's up. And I took a quick potty break before tending to the 1, 2, 3 little gremlins that are in my bed. But before waking them, let me go ahead and toss in some laundry. Because of course, when else would I have time to do laundry for 8 people? But anyway, let me go ahead and throw on my baby wrap. This thing honestly has been a lifesaver these last few weeks. Since I'm not getting much help from the other parent, this allows me to keep my baby comforted while I tend to the other children and household responsibilities. Of course, the next step is going to be getting the kids dressed. My 2 oldest are pretty independent, so they can get themselves dressed. But I'm responsible for getting our 4 youngest dressed. That includes shirt, shorts, socks, and shoes. And where is my husband during all of this, you might ask? Of course, he has the luxury of waking up, going into the bathroom for about an hour, then getting himself dressed and off to work. Having all of the time in the world to only think and care about himself. I take care of all of these things so he can have a stress-free day and only have to focus on going to work so that he can provide for his family, even though I'm expected to work and provide as well. But I'm getting off topic again. Why do I do all of this, you ask? Honestly, I don't know. It's something that happened over time. I've learned to try not to rock the boat so I can avoid any blow up. And one Once I get our kids off to daycare, which is literally less than 2 minutes from my husband's job, I'm back at work 2 weeks postpartum because financial abuse is a thing as well.
Now, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to have more girl talks with me. And you know what? Share this video. Share the video to your friend. Be like, girl, look, this look like you. You're struggling with those kids by yourself. You need to have a talk with that man, okay? Now, let's keep going. So looking at all these clips really had me kind of in my own head. And I think it's because I'm getting married and I really had to kind of do like a self, perspective and go, am I crossing all my T's, dotting my I's to make sure that I'm really vetting this person, right? Like, is this person showing themselves to be the best potential husband, best potential partner, best potential father? And are there red flags? Are we catching them? Love can blind you. Are we catching those red flags when he don't want to pick his socks up? And so my mom always said it like, oh, you see the signs. They were there well before you got married. And whether it be, he is that, I'm the provider mentality, or some entitlement, or he is just straight up lazy, you will see the signs before you ever say I do and before you ever hit the hospital bed pumping out that kid.
Why did it take the dad 3 to 5 business days to react, though? The waiter came to the rescue quicker than he did. This is just another example of a married single mom.
Now let's take a look at the lazy man. A lot of these women, unfortunately, have one thing in common, and they married the lazy man. That's usually the number one thing of why you see women married but still single mothers. It's because they are with a man who just don't want to do. He don't want to do, and he is actually okay with looking at you do it. And that is seriously a problem and a major red flag. And it is something to consider if you're in a relationship and you see it beforehand. For example, like if your car needs to go get some maintenance or something, he needs to be taking your car to go get that done. Why are you doing it? You don't need to be in no nasty mechanic's place. Like, I'm not getting oil on my shoes. You go do that. Or if you need something fixed in your home, little maintenance, need to hang up a picture or something, and you ask him to do it once, you ask him to do it twice, and then by the third time, remember, he just don't want to do, and he probably won't do it, and actually looks at you and may tell you, well, go to Home Depot and go do it yourself. These are examples of a man who rather look at you do it. And you need to understand that, because they will also, when you have that baby and when you have those kids, he will look at you, juggle the baby and the children and dinner and clothes, laundry, and the whole full-time job, the whole 9. And he is okay with you taking on the full load, and it's no big deal to him. So just remember, those small signs are there. They're always there. Be vigilant, because you don't want to end up like some of these women where the signs were there for them too, and they just didn't pay attention, and they thought, I'm married, we're cool, it's all going to be good, we're in this together, and they find themselves that they are not in this together at all.
90% of married women, I don't care what you say, 90% go through the same thing with their husband, as far as you're the mom, you're always with the kids. Even if you work a 9 to 5, I don't care. I work a 9 to 5. I just haven't been to work since I had Halo, and I will return. And I'm still probably going to be a single mom, because men can come and go as they please. They walk in the house when they want to, go sit down, relax, do whatever they're doing. Moms are cooking, cleaning, yelling at the kids all day.
Now, I know the manosphere people are going to lose their minds when I say this, but this is why a lot of us women, we always go back to that 50-50 debate, okay? So the 50-50 split, and that is what really the majority of all of us will find ourselves in. It is a 50-50 split. That is just how the world works. That is our economy. That's our America. America today, usually a house cannot run without two incomes from mom and dad. That's just what it is. I grew up with both my parents working. I'm sure you did too. And no one's worse for wear, okay? However, this is why a lot of women currently are pushing back on the 50-50, because it's kind of like it never really ends up 50-50. We as women usually, remember, I take a very traditional stance on things, which is it is natural for us to be nurturers. That is why we all are saddled with the children. This is why mom usually always has custody. And this is why kids always want to be with the mom. You know, it is just our burden to bear. That is just how we were made. And it's also natural for us to have to cook dinner and meals because you have to feed the children and feed your husband and stuff like that. So these things are very natural for us. And we know going into it that, yeah, we're probably going to be number one having to do a lot of the mothering, a lot of the cooking and cleaning, even though you should not be doing it all by yourself. I really don't believe that. Even if your husband is the sole provider, he needs to be getting you a maid, okay? Like, no. But that is where there's no 50-50, because if you still have to work and do a whole 9 to 5, hell, it ain't even 9 to 5 no more. What is it, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. now with an hour commute, okay? You got to pick the kids up from daycare, then come home. Yeah, so you are working a full-time job, okay? You're getting your ass up, going to work, having to deal with their BS, and then you know you got to come home and deal with your household's BS. And if there's no help or a hand given there, then where's the 50-50? Because if you're paying 50% of the bills, he's paying 50% of the bills, but you're doing 100% of the household chores, cooking, and parenting, I'm not seeing where the 50-50 is. It sounds like 80-20 to me. A 70-30. That's not a 50-50. And that's why we as women are constantly trying to push back that whole 50-50, you know, you need to work and you need to pay half the bills. No, that I don't, okay? Because I need to pop out these kids. You know how much work that takes? I got to take care of these kids, these children. You know how much work that takes? And you want me to work? And what you gonna be doing? Nah, bro, no. And listen, not all men are like that. So if your husband is being a partner to you and helping with the children, the household, perfect, and you guys both work, I am so happy for you. That is how it should be. But if you find yourself doing that whole little 70-30 split, 80-20, you might need to renegotiate what's going on. Say, I'm pulling back some hours from work because I'm not seeing the equal divide here. This is where we as women have to take on that responsibility and accountability with making sure we are vetting these men to be the partners, okay? Not just husbands. And I think that is something that was missing in my commentary before when I say, hey, you need to get married before you have a baby. Yeah, you need to have a partner before you have a baby. And I apologize, and I'm correcting myself now. That is what it is. We need to vet in our relationship. You know, is this person reliable? Look for reliability. Can I call you? Look for empathy. Do you feel what I'm feeling? You know, look for someone who is willing to shoulder the load with you now. If you have something going on in your life and they were like, I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry. And they shoulder it with you, then you can go, okay, they'll probably do that, you know, when we're married and when we're ready to be parents. We'll be co-parents. Look for a partner. So please let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. You know, are you a married single mom? You know, is your homegirl married but a single mom? I think we know women like this if we are not one ourselves. And I hope that changes. If that is the case for you, I hope your situation changes somehow. And sometimes that does come down to having a real life decision on what to do with your marriage at that point, if you just have to do it by yourself all the time. That just shouldn't be. It really shouldn't. And if you didn't watch my last video, I discuss Target cheeks and how public decency has died. It's coming up right now.